A slight deviation of our normally scheduled program. We have the employee who recently retired from the Newark House. This gentleman served the Newark House Authority for 42 years. The longest serving staffer. We wanted to acknowledge Harry. On behalf of the Newark Missouri Board of Commission, I want to forget you for your 42-year and service. Newark.
I say things that happened before. When I was tell you about my nickname name. I'm also a grandparent by now, so but honor that we're always serious.
Let the record say that Commissioner Hapsworth is from. Move into public participation in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act of Newark Copyright opens every public comments of the public. Each person seeking to speak at the meeting will be limited to 3 minutes. Speak on 8 subject corner off the agenda. All speakers must state their name and address for the record. However, in accordance with NJSA 10.4 and Trill, nothing in the act shall construe to limit the discretion of a public body to permit, prohibit, or regulate active participation at the meeting. Therefore, please be advised that your House of Free will not entertain e-comments of persons who communicate obscene material, make statements which are considered violence and intimidation, in which a person intends to intimidate an individual or group because of race, color, religion, gender, handicap, sexual orientation, or ethnicity, or makes comments intending to allow or speak in any offensive language. The person who makes these statements will relinquish their allotted 3 minutes of public discussion. In further to persist in speaking out of turn or interrupt the peace and order of the meeting with exported off. First speaker needed Lumisha.
I ain't got no problem. How come we get 5 more points that camp anyway? Why they can't get a gold watch for the money? You get like for 42 years? I think that's a disgrace. The goddamn people even stole from the people, the more that at it than just that plaque right there. People who have stolen, then went into retirement, got several packages and stuff. That's ridiculous. You need a watch and about $4,200 in the going away cash at the end of the day. I first want to ask, since we not being talked about tonight, was the committee for that third party vendor. Is there a licensed person who's going to see contracts to this? That's one thing I'm gonna know, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of good workers. Everybody's on FTIU all day. I'm in London. That. But at the end of the day, we got some issues. That's why I love a little search for whether it might be for I'm okay. Oh. I see Martu saying here, he did very unity by doubt, you know, that you gave he put on the board. But he was also coming for that. I just want to keep that out there so everybody know. He coming for y'all up in here. That would get back, but you couldn't get the get back. At the end of the day, we got issued to have Section 8 with this website, we are fire. We got introduced Section 8 with people not getting an inspection still done. Quadell needs to go. And so the top heavy director, if productivity was not right and was not good, it was because of the top heavy director. That's what brought everything down. People being here 42 years, 50 years, 10 years, and they're not being recognized. That's number one. They're not getting the time that they ever was here. But yeah, people was on our trip. One of the managers, with all of them fit on that back quarterback, and them good men. Those are the good men. At the end of the day, what are these? When are they gonna go to train? When are they gonna go to seconds in Arizona? Because these are the people that need to see the difference in the housing authority. These are the people that need to walk away to see the difference. And I didn't have to my manager back there because I just want to let y'all know she gets on me. But anyway, as I'm saying, when are we gonna get this housing authority right? Even fight the Archie. We're gonna break it for this vibe. But we need to get rid of some people here we need to get rid of. You will see them around and it's constantly going up. I know water countries start playing to day-to-day operation, but it's still something that can't be settled. Where was the warranty? Are we set rid up the both of blades out? Good evening. Him Bark on 47 Riverside Court. First and foremost, I come before the body, estate. Uh, I have a lease. And I want to know, and I know that this deed is legally and binding. The Newark Housing Authority LLC as a word. In their streets, it has no household rule. It talks about housing, inspection, outside trash. That. I want to know if this legally binding, since we are no longer Brother Calvin, we have Prince Bishop into rag. Okay, my next issue is inspection. We were scheduled for inspection that's not being done. And my thing is, I would like to see that data in real time of what they think. You saying that they caught up, they're not caught up. You have people saying, oh, waiting for these people to come and they don't show up. And I had it on my phone from August 1st and real now on September 25th that they called me and said they'd be at my house at 11:30. No one showed up. I called to be scheduled. No one had sent me an email telling me exactly when the inspection is going to be done. So stop saying that y'all caught up with it. Stop. We need to see it. Y'all need to see it in real time and have it. We need to let us know what the day is and how they doing it. Because they come up here and tell y'all month after month that this is being done. It is not. And lastly, I had a stove that had a gas leak that took me sick. I have pictures in my phone for that son. Today is September 25th. That stove is still outside. Still outside. And with the doors on. Kids are playing tag. They're playing tag. That's unacceptable because that's dangerous. That is dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. That they sit here month after month and okay, you got and I mean I don't want to see nobody without a job, but you do need to get rid of those that are not doing their job. Let's be for real. Because I worked myself. I worked as a nurse, okay, for 10 years. And where they got this set up where you need 15 days before you can get rid of them, that's absurd. Come on, you hired them, you're paying them to do a job. This is why stuff is not being done in our sight. We have one maintenance man that goes around and everything. I will give it to the acting manager that's here. She hasn't sent out the paper saying that she went to France to pick up. But here's one thing. Y'all say the back and the front. But remember, on these sites, we don't have private yards.
Thank you. Irene.
Oh. Hello, my name is Ivan Blow. I live at 100 Knuckle Street. Truck start coming through over here. Okay, it's gonna be hard. 3 minutes, and I had a list, so I'm gonna try to get it together. The homeless, the addicts, is too much. We are trying so hard to bring our neighborhood up ethically. We have a lot of poor people who have moved there. They're popular people. You can see the change in behavior. But we have the addicts, we have homeless all over the place. I don't like, I noticed that you did make a statement concerning race. There is no way I could have bought that. Most of the people who are there are whites. There's a pack in number of the black homeless and addicts there. They're being dumped off. I've been told by very reliable sources that they're being dumped off in vans. We are being used as a dumping ground, and it's not fair. We have children there. You have people in broad daylight smoking crack in broad daylight. The other day, I was trying to drive my car out of the pit. You had four. You got to forgive me because it upsets me all the time. You had four addicts sitting right there at the entrance. I had to blow the horn for them to move. They was smoking crack. It was so good, they didn't even know my car was there. Okay, now it goes to show you how bad this is going to be. It's getting ready to get cold. They're going to want to find somewhere to go. Where are they going? They're going to be speeding up in our buildings, which is dangerous. For example, on my floor, building 100 apartment 8B, Ward 8, crack addicts got up in there in the hurry, and they were sick up there, smoking crack. I mean, a real fire. The fire department had to come and put that fire out. That was the real one. Doors were burnt. All the papers that our president of the association put up for us to read were never gone. All that was burnt. So now, on the rush, we have the doors have to be fixed now. They're all working on it. It's new slight thing, but they haven't finished. So now the doors are open, and now they're sneaking in. Cool. We need security, but I just feel personally we need a new a company, a new one, because they have to catch these people. I see a lot of people just walk like they're not being questioned or anything. My old man one day woke up, went outside, he heard the noise, and there was someone in the lobby, right there on the 8th floor, having a party all by themselves. How did they get in there? So you're talking security, you're talking homeless, you're talking to addicts, you get the problem. And I don't understand. We're right there on Union Challenger Line. I don't get it. Right on the corner, they live now. Why can't we live that way? It doesn't make any sense.
For
Don't have time, you know, for that. Good evening, everyone. I came to the board several months ago about a P.O. box, paying my rent to the landlord. Well, I read it and sunk in, and on the first page I gave, the HUD said, we can't pay a P.O. box, but it has to be on your head contract along with what you give to me. If you're giving a contract information to him, you have to have a P.O. box for his head contract and for me, in order for me to send to that P.O. box. So I need to find out who the landlord is because it's in my building, the LLC. I don't know how did the LLC get over from the C to here. I don't know if we need to go to Washington or give me something. I'm gonna write to them, but that got to stop. I can't talk to my building. I have a problem there. He turned off the water. My grandson cried because he had to leave my house
Okay? The inspector sent him out. But how can I talk to the landlord? I'm going outside to talk to a building? No. I don't even know who to contact. Property management, they keep with the mill. I keep telling y'all. Y'all recertify us every year. How about these landlords? I recertify them every 6 months because they change consistently. And we don't know who to give our rent to. But if I don't pay my rent, I'm getting kicked off the club rent. But you still sending my money to a bank account that's somewhere else. Another thing, city should be on the same page with y'all. I got a paper and I dig out copies in my bag. You probably have Muncie, New York for this person, because that's what I assume. But the city got that the LLC owner lives on 17th Street in East Orange. So what is going on? I really don't see, but the other paper, because my minute short, both about selling the property. We's not the lead. They're supposed to tell y'all who is the new owner, the seller. I sought to know the seller name and information. It's supposed to be on their hat contract. They're supposed to flip it over so that we can go to that new person, and it's up to the new person to put me out. Because he come down and said, he's done it. You calling me, tell me to come pick up a batch. He ain't selling in the near future. And I have the paper that was presented downstairs too. It's wrong. So I don't know who or called it, but if we can go in the executive section, I can show you all what I got. Spicy.
Margarita Quarters.
Immediate. You want to do what you want me to do? No, I can't. I'm open. Yo, por favor, y yo veo muy preocupada en ese sitio.
Me siento muy noche. Él hacer la primera vez me tocaron en la puerta. Y no abrí la puerta. El lunes iba a las 7 de la mañana, iba para un programa y se me atravesó un hombre con un bate. Y me dio muchísimas palabras que no entendí en ese momento. Me sentí muy nerviosa, muy asustada, preocupada. Yo sinceramente le digo, tengo mucho miedo en los elevadores. En el elevador, en el sitio donde vivo. Porque cuido, ahí venden droga. Mucha droga. Jangueo, mucho seguro.
Every Friday morning, he was on the way to up a car to bring his old passport. And this gentleman, a tenant, arrived on trip. He's a dealer, and he can add it. He came out. He was holding a bag. Somebody apparently broke into his apartment and stole $1,500. He was there waiting with other members of the day earlier, and they were talking. He approached her. What the bleep are you talking about? Was he felt that she was talking about? She up and still stayed there. They dropped filling on that floor. They don't. You guys know the apartment number 1407. He's not on the lease. The lease be mostly net be with somebody meant somewhere. So it's white people living in that apartment. And the homelessness and the people that are moving in there, it's out of control. There's smoke being drugged, smell it everywhere. And then we have a project at 900, we have from all the gate room, this big, huge space in between the floor. This is where they clean, they hang up the limpia, there's really the asthma, the fire de la presión, y la de acuerdo, y the la presión, they carry this germ and the large speed in building that are suffering from asthma. She diabetic again, upper inside infection, and she just sometimes you can't eat the environment. Yeah, that's scared. Please, I'm scared. And so this transfer was approved I don't know, about a month ago. And then the other gentleman that was in emergency approval, he's out. He filed the police. He's out. In front out Margarita paperwork. He's going to be found because we had an interaction, a difference of opinion with the asset manager, and he wasn't a positive one. Thank you. Have a
Lorenzo Hall.
That my name is Lorenzo Hall, President Local 617, who represents, among others, the embassy lookout firms as a worker. I'm going to say the word. And we're asking you guys to vote down the private most of Newark house costs and not get rid of 161 people. Now, that's one thing, but it's not good for residents and it's not good for you know who you got going up with little people. Yeah. Now that's one thing. On another note, I spoke at the city council meeting, and after that meeting, we had a rally a couple of days later here in front of the building, where I was informed that the executive director, North Mountain Authority, called me that pit bull. I'm here to say I'm not a dog, because a pit bull is a dog. It's a bull is a dog. I'm not a dog. The people say go pit bull. So I don't appreciate that. I don't notice that they directed the Adams house cat. Don't know, never met him or anything. But to call a person dog is not a very pit bull dog, never we work with. It's not a very good way to leave a person. That's right. I can't see the house can the good stuff.
Very hustle.
Good evening, Commissioner. My name is Zach Carpin. I am the general counsel of the union that represents the asset managers. Obviously, we have Bill Meeker Hall's comments that we are strongly opposed to the motion for prohibition of down dark. 3 minutes is probably not enough time to explain why we think. Number one, it is an idea that will not succeed. Aisha has tried it up there out in prior mode. That it simply you're on it that it works. With respect to NHA, and we have to ask the question of has everything been done to try and save no have get fired for grants. Have we considered cost cutting measures like furlough? It seemed as if there's a bit of a campaign to blame managers for the state to be down. You think that's not true. Managers are incredibly hardworking. They are in the trend every day, doing their best with completely limited resources, limited staff. Many tenants who are trying to do the right thing and helpful, some who are not. Managers who are sometimes put in danger, who are the ones that we face it, tenants who are not followed full. And the fact that the current situation is implicitly blamed on managers that think it's. There are so many other things to think about, but like the limited time. So, well, so focus on the decision we'll have on the employees and obviously the tenant. But for the employees, these are people who are civil. They took this job, which pays less than the private sector, harder hours, tougher condition, in exchange for being able to participate in the state pension fund and have good medical benefits to the state. Those things will not compete under a private employer. You're sending the employees to a much worse situation. Whether they say or they go, they will be presented to terms and conditions with employment. It will not be substantially similar to what offered. Now, of course, we're always advocating for better terms and conditions of employment, but as it pertains to certain benefits, the employee will be put in the very difficult. We'll be back here next month, but we strongly urge you, kind of not too late. There is still time to reconsider the decision. I know some in leadership have acted like it's a done deal and it's finalized, but it's not. You haven't voted yet, and there's still time to do the right thing. Take care of your employees in the plan. Thank you.
Your idea, eh? Sure. You. This kind of prefer thing they figure.
See.
See.
Well, about the posting that I want to part is the think is ang di ancient arting custom aging nampi kan tinanong ko sa of receive panahan on our hallways on my declining 6 months. In some bus, put myself by taking the from the go to cleaning. I know they told us not to do it, but we cannot continue to live it. Okay? The drug dealing, it's poorhouse. Okay, 900. Frankly, 900 Franklin Avenue is none of the worst of the worst. In the Walmart, 24/7, you can get any drug, legal or illegal. Okay, and we're fearful because the security personnel that's there is supposed to be watching us, they're falling asleep. And then they leave the door open, and this individual they creep in at night because we're coming in to get their fix. I have to walk with a police out of camera even when I go outside to take my dog because I'm fearful for my safety. Okay, because advocating for my seniors, the stick in the table at 900 has big me problem. Now I'm the bottom. I've been locked out of a street that had been open there for more than 20 years. And then all of a sudden, that safe belongs to HUD. This was the place where we stored the food thing. This is the free diet. The last time I had my tennis knee. Then the community room was renovated, but I was locked out. Okay? And it's what am I going to do? Now I can't even have the food delivered to 880 so I can have food pantry because it's a lot of food insecurities, lots of it, of 900, and I have no place to put it. Okay, I was working with Jonathan, and I said, Jonathan, which is one of your on official, the shirt, Jonathan Lima, and he said I have no place to put it. They changed lots. Now I was told that the inventory that's in there is hot. No. So you need some for the last 20 years. No one noticed that we weren't collecting rent on that space. It's a commercial space. Okay? It doesn't have a bedroom. It's a commercial space. For the last 20 years is what I've been told that painting that's in there. And then all of a sudden, because I spoke up and I screwed up on the problem, the Beyonce manager went around telling everybody, oh, no, she's crazy. She doesn't know what she's talking about. And now, if I try to put a work order for one of my seniors that they, I need an order, like a legal document. And lastly, this is for the records. Yeah, but just 1 minute. But
Everyone else has 3
okay.
minutes. Ms. Donna Jackson.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. The worst I've ever seen. Despite I think it's very disingenuous that you are now president of E and have not given the explanation about. There are all kind of rules and 80 windows going around, and when you first got there, you had time about the lack of information that was given to the tenant in regard to the rent. They were lied to. I told the tenant 10 years ago, bad come thing, they did not do it. They're not going to give you a Section 8 voucher because unfortunately, the previous administration stole it all. And we don't even have enough to maintain what we need now. That's why you can only open up the Section 8 waiting. You can't help people, but you can open up a waiver. And because in our community, the literacy is a very serious issue, a lot of people really think they just apply for Section 8 voucher. There's no explanation coming from anybody as to what's going on. The $6 million plan probably sounded like a good plan, but it's the worst plan you guys could have done. You are moving homeless people off the street into these senior buildings with folks that are trying to build their life. So now you got drug dealers, you got people who, you got people who refuse to watch, you got people who refuse to adhere to this young lady right here, to that tenant president did this vote, and all of these people right here from North 6th Street, all of you people here from Franklin Avenue, you are causing hell. Mr. Thacker, you said that one of your, that the concerns of compassion is not your issue. Well, you are the wrong person for this job, sir. We have seniors who have lost people that they're right next door to them for the last 30 years, and they died, and daddy, we gotta have some kind of grief counseling sessions in these buildings to help our seniors heal, because they're not healing. And then on top of that, now you're dumping, and y'all are helping this, all these people off the street into these buildings with people who've been living a normal life. You did no training with these people. There's no services for these homeless folks that y'all bringing in, and I'm seeing it firsthand. Because I'm over there on Franklin. I'm over there on North 6th Street, and they don't call me to come other places. Guess what? Ain't coming. We formed the North Housing Authority Oversight Committee, and we about to take action. Because this is ridiculous. Mr. Spicer, I hope that your decisions are not being driven by the fact that you gave the mayor a donation for a governor campaign. Because when you came in, you were like a lightning bolt. You got rid of Section 3 because you said it wasn't being done correctly, and I can support you when you're going to do the right thing. But right here, you know where left. I think it's, like I said, disingenuous. I don't even know if this board knows that you're the president of the Phoenix Group, but y'all better Google it. You better not vote for it. People still not getting their rental receipts, still not getting rental statements, still not receiving what their rent is supposed to be, not receiving their rent calculation sheet. You got your managers out here because they still want to be in the bed with the current administration, giving people letters to go to court for thousands of dollars. How does a senior owe $6 grand when their rent is $150? I know you want my time to be over. I know that's why you took from 5 minutes to 3 minutes. I don't even know if that's legal. But we asked her and we don't see it. Because you took 2 minutes off of everybody because you know the hell that's going on out there now. Mr. Spicer, you should do better. You walked around this state and you said when you came to Newark, you were going to fix things. Well, Donna Jackson is here to tell you right now, you're destroying it. Your word is no good because you did this Phoenix thing and you didn't bring it to the public. You've been talking about everything else. Why deny that? That's right. Yeah.
So was Mary.
Mary,
Not John Mary.
Anaya Morgan, Cheryl Morgan,
Good evening, everybody. I'm Cheryl Morgan at Correction. My name is Cheryl Morgan, not Cheryl Morgan Bond. But in Europe, I gave you all this is the conditions I live in. Well, according to management, it's scared. It's been done. It has. I'm on a WI 2 proposal. See them rolling houses? The stove in my house, secret gas on my daughter, and my children were sleeping. My daughter's quirky fit. My daughter's panic. I went on vacation in North Carolina. She called me, put dark in the room, crying. Mom, this gets all in the house. Okay, so Liz Birch and Angelica comes to the house. She turns the stove on and won't come over there. So you're going to follow protocol. What is protocol? What does that mean to y'all? Because to me, it
You're the boss. You come to my house and you know it's not working. Why don't you take time not call maintenance? Listen, come see what's going on. Oh, no, nobody did. Did I get a Steve notice? A failed housekeeping? All it's mounted, even this dope maneuver. Hollering across the guard. That's the acne the other day. I'm gonna give you a notice, and you know what I told him? Excuse me, I'm not doing the F you gotta do. Cause I'm not combative. I'm not crazy. This picture prove what's over on my room. And you telling me it's it? It's not me. It's not. I had to throw my kitchen table out. My granddaughter eating her dinner. She gets up to go to the bathroom, but vomits off the table with her food. So you don't even use that table. It's in the garbage. She's eating on her 50th birthday. When she's finished, we clean it, fold it, and put it away. Stop treating the residents like that. It's not fair. It's not. We deserve better. You sit here, you look at me, oh, she's the problem, fuck not a problem. Either one or two things. I've been in that place since 2000, it's almost 2020. I've never had nothing real, nothing. Don't care about that. But treat me like you treat anybody else. You're renovating. You come, my cabinet, as you feel that picture, it's collected in. The maintenance man, I can't put no more wood. It's rotten. It's still there. Molded under. Everybody in my house in Newton can fertilizer and asthma pump. We're sweeping up rolling dropping like it's candy that it came for. This is ridiculous. You don't have to treat us like that. And I'm not alone. Proof is in the picture. And I give them to you and I ask for coming down. I ask for about you, get me out of here. If I'm a problem, so you get me on. I don't bother you. If you come to me, nobody cleans up outside. You know who your maintenance man was? Miss Cheryl Morgan with the very hidden deed cleaned up every room, all outside. Thank you.
Rosemary Murray. Rosemary Murray.
Well,
Mark Kevin Paul Bier. Napalapo. General Paul.
Jacqueline Peoples.
Jacqueline Peoples.
But you know who I am.
Yes, we don't have
Too old for this. I don't want it. Ah. Jeez. Hi. Her. Bob, but how about? Or I thought not even about person, but they were people that he did it and father, and they would do, they called my friend over here. In the name of Jesus, Father, we bind all the demonic activity that's occurring in the house of God, the Father. And we thank you, you bring down, you poke the dollar with the mighty name of Jesus. The Father said, horrible stories, Father, all can't be untrue. So I thank you that you're moving by your call. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. I came down here because I contacted Mrs. Mom. She got quite lots of stuff. And I came down here because you removed my stove out of the bill and gave me a 20-inch stove that really doesn't work. And I asked Miss Motley to have it removed. She claims she can, and I'm still going to ask for it. It's an electric stove that's on my bill. It's any stove that's electric, it's running on your electric. And last year, I have not forgotten how the Darty almost tried to kill me with carbon monoxide running through my apartment because she did not know how to take something. So I've been through a lot. And in my particular rat trap, quote unquote. And I stand, I sit, and I'm on Newark. We consider nothing but a bunch of quote unquote, as Huckleberry Finn say, niggas.
Then I think about the Three Little Pigs. And everybody in this room needs a copy of it. All I ask for you guys to do is take care of my soul. But I'm not going to fight with you. But these horrendous conditions. Ms. Motley, I'm asking. I have much to say. I don't have energy for that tonight. And please don't forget who I am, Mr. Spike.
Amanda Reed. Amanda Reed. Gilda Rodriguez. Yep, Rodriguez. Venus Whopper. Venus Walker. Aisha Wicks. April Mendez. Malik Muhammad.
First off, true love.
And Frank Lee.
Good evening, Assalamu alaikum. Ali Muhammad Sayyid Ilkayu. Just wanted to come down. I was sooner or later about Friday's invasion. Today more here. Who who's the pop? I want to jump in most good. The commissioners are responsible for aid. That's it. When I was sitting with you guys, I told you that. The regulations say you are over everything. You're not taking it serious. Because if you took it serious, we wouldn't be here. Now, Spicer, I don't blame Spicer. That's right. Pat came in and he hired Spicer, and if he didn't hire Spicer, your husband came in and took this thing. It's like Urban. So I'm just telling you. So what I want to say is it's a story that I had about Spicer that I left. And when I left, I didn't need him. I wrote a nurse because I was concerned about who was going to be the next director. And I was very concerned. And he told the say, Commissioner, that's your thing. You think that's right. And when I told him in the letter, you see, my perception, he said, I said that my perception was the FBI perception, OIG perception. And I told him I was in the building 13 times when he was ahead of her. But he didn't know. He was sitting up there, and he was the head of New Jersey Public HUD. He knew it was bad, but he didn't know it was with that. I'm just telling you, it was so bad that we would get a contract for security. They would give these $7 million. They never fund the contract. We gonna put elevators, patent how the elevator for credit. They never put the money in. So now you got a problem with budget. He's not Victor. He's giving you transparency. It's a problem. If he don't do this, whatever he gotta do by a certain time, you're not gonna make the budget. That means you're gonna lay off. That means you're gonna go same public sector, and that means they're gonna come in here and take. So I'm short on time. I have a lot more to say, but it's commissioners. Your responsibility. Not the workers, not the managers, not Spicer. And if you get rid of Spicer, boy, Hunter's gonna come in this book. I'm telling you, because he know how to push all the buttons. Y'all want Hunt in here? Y'all be gone. I support Spicer. Let him do his job. Well, I like my song.
Miriam Drew. David O.R.D.
Here.
Daniel Daniels. Daniel Daniels. LaShawn Green. Evie. Well, try to be somewhat quick in response to everything else said this evening. Like, took notes when I try to go through my notes. To be as succinct as possible. I apologize if I come out a little passionate about certain topics that I'm trying to brush on those. This year, 2025, is the first time the Housing Authority has offered performance bonuses to staff. So if you do your job well, you get a bonus up to 5% of your base pay as an incentivize the individual to do that. Right. First time in at least the last 15 years that the agency have provided. Last year, as I've mentioned before, the agency spent $480,000 training staff. Not anyone to travel, but actually bringing a contractor out here to train staff. They sat at the waterfront for 2 months. They sat here for 2 months. A total of $480,000. That's just the fact. Right. Yes, leases are legally binding. For those that have that question, the leases are legally binding. Overwatching what I heard from each resident was about site conditions. They all talked about the conditions of the property, how things are being addressed at the property. What I find to be ironic about that is this year, 2025, just about all our unions have an opportunity to negotiate. And everyone that came to the table asked for more money. I gave every single union exactly what they asked for. But no union has come to us and said, well, how can we help? How can we improve the conditions of the people that we're here to serve? This is the first time I said I didn't. The first time I saw the president of you was at city council last week. I've had no conversations with an individual after 24 months probably. I've met with 617 on a regular basis. They've never had an interest in sitting down with who we were health authority up until now. What I find frustrating, if I apologize ahead of time for the passion, what I find frustrating, what I find discouraging is the fact that there was a concerted effort by unions to give disinformation to our residents. They come up here and talk about how we are not serving them, but they put flyers on their doors. They knock on their doors and said, you are going to be a thing. Your rate is going to rise. They are selling the property, knowing that was a lie. Why do they know that was a lie? Because I personally met with the unions and gave them everything in writing. Then I told them to come to the staff meeting where I met with all 300 staff members and gave them this exact same document and went over it with them. And then when each of those unions said, hey, we want to have a follow-up conversation with you, we had that follow-up conversation. Except for one union who decided they wanted to talk, but not actually move. They wanted a whole bunch of documents that we provided them. One said, hey, do you want to meet? And they didn't respond to that. You give a copy of that email in your packets. The reality is, the fact is also in your packets, there are 12 properties that we have that have been privately managed for the last 13 to 15 years. We don't hear about those properties. We don't get these issues from those properties. That is the fact. I can't recall, and we can look back in a minute, so when a person from Lincoln Towers has appeared here, when a person from City View Landing, City View Seniors have appeared here, from Ashton Heights has appeared here, from Montgomery has appeared here. The fact is, those residents do not show up at this board meeting to talk about the conditions of their home. No one on Prince or West King comes here to talk about the conditions of their home. But those are all owned by the Newark Housing Authority and managed by private management companies. That is a fact. So what I find disconcerting is this year, everybody want more money. And they got their retro pay, they got their extra money. But when there was an earthquake 6 weeks ago, and we started to call the managers, the supers, our staff to come in at 1 o'clock in the morning because it's an earthquake, which is a natural disaster, people have their cell phones on. People weren't available. But that's in your job description. We are not going to wait around until 9 o'clock in the morning for me to find out Ms. Halma fell down the stairs because of the earthquake. We are not going to wait around for people to show up because there's a fire at 900 Franklin and you decided you didn't want to come in. Those are natural emergencies, your job to be. But you didn't want to show up for that. We sat here and had Local 55 here for a number of years and things got done, things didn't get done. When I walked in the door, we made sure all the bills got paid. Water bill got paid. Lowe's got paid. Home Depot got paid. You are able to order the supplies that you need to do the job that you have to do. And I've gone out to those sites and told them, if that's not the case, let me know. No one tells us so. But every month we hear about the conditions. But no other time have we had the unions come in and say, how can we do better? How can we make your job easy? Right? As we are aware, we're not going to get to the specifics of it, but we had to terminate an employee who was selling public housing units. We had to Zale. We had to terminate an employee who was boarding up individuals in units. Were they trespassing? Yes. Were they vagrants? Yes. Were they humans? Yes. So the fact that you think it is acceptable to lock someone, to board up a unit where you know they are in there, it's just what I do to get them out, is completely unacceptable. We have this meeting at Kretschmer, where a senior was locked out of their home, called the after hours number to get back into their unit, and was told, I need $100 in cash. No check, no money order. The senior said, I ain't got it. And the senior sat outside till 7 o'clock in the morning. How would you feel if your 72-year-old grandfather sat outside till 7 o'clock in the morning because you wouldn't grease the palms of the soup? Knowing these people on a 6 income. I have no remorse. I have no regret for individuals that prey on the weak, on the downtrodden, because that is exactly what is happening. But the difference is every 2 weeks, we have to meet payroll. Every 2 weeks, these people have to get paid, but the conditions they're living in aren't improving. We have seen these people at this podium month after month, time after time. We haven't had a union come here before. They haven't sat down and met with you all before. Until we talked about moving their cheese, until we talked about moving their jobs, they were complacent with the way things work. But we talk about changing things, we get accountability. We can see how much rent are you collecting? Because we haven't collected $2.6 million of rent this year. We talk about $4.5 million deficit. There's my deficit. Collect the rent. I was just out of a property earlier this week. Grass was cut. Grass was still on the sidewalk. And I said to the manager then, you shouldn't have signed a slip. The grass is supposed to be picked up. Why is it acceptable for them to cut the grass and leave it on our sidewalk when they don't do it on private property? Did you walk the property before you signed the slip to say they were done?
These are things that our managers are supposed to be doing. So yes, we can sit down and we can needle and we can try to figure out what's going on with this property and why it's not working at that property, how to fix it at that property. But the reality is, as we take that time to figure those things out, people are still living in those conditions. People are still collecting a paycheck. I don't have the urgency of now because this administration is changing things at a drastic rate. And we don't know what next week is going to look like. We don't know where that funding is going to come from next budget, because they are planning on shut the government down. And when they shut the government down, we have to have at least 90 days in our reserves to float. And if I'm burning through my savings account to meet this year's obligation, where's my 90 days? You all hired me to address the issue. And in 24 months, we have made significant progress to address the systemic issue. Is everyone gonna like that? No. Oftentimes, people don't like change. Is it going to be fixed in 24 months, in 3 years? No. It didn't get like this in 2 to 3 years. But we have to come up with a plan forward to make it right. And that means to send out a number or all of our sites to some of those same management companies that have been managing our site for the last 13 to 15 years, in which we said to staff and to you that no one loses a job. You still get to work. You still at that site today, you'll be at that site tomorrow. What's the problem? We said even if there's a gap in what they pay you versus what you pay, we'll fund that for virtually. What's the problem? If you do your job, you will still have a job. Now, the union won't collect as much dues, but my obligation isn't to the union, it's to the people that we serve. Will you have a pension? No, they won't. You are da-da-da. Private industry doesn't have state pension. If you're vested, you already collect your pension. If you go to another public entity, that printing will follow you. If you're not vested, then after 24 months, if you haven't gone to another public sector job and will refund you everything, you can put it into a 401 or 453, wherever you like to be. But my obligation, first and foremost, are to the people whose homes we serve. As I said, in every meeting that we go to, we have the urgency of now because your house is supposed to be your rest. Your house is supposed to be where you go to say, ah. And instead, we have people coming here talking about rodents, leaky roofs, mold, mildew. We talk about our liabilities from lawsuits that we've had to settle. So we do have an emergency then. Because as I keep coming up here saying, I need the rent. And I completely understand why someone doesn't want to give us the rent when their home isn't their sanctuary. So yes, I'm going to find the most immediate, effective way to address the systemic problem, which is to recollect the 71% of the rent last month. We have 1,300 outstanding work orders, 1,362 as of today. $2,600,000 of unpaid rent as of today. Is that a one-person problem? No, it's not. Is that all of our problems? Yes, it is. So I would love to sit down with various institutions, various groups to understand how they're going to help us get over it. Because everyone wants to talk about what Spicer won't do. What Spicer was sent here to do. Who hired Spicer? How Spicer is doing this? But no one wants to address the issues. The issue isn't Spicer. The issue is the condition of the units. The issue is that staff have selected to slow down the work. We had properties that were at 88 and Inspire last year. We went through the exact same process this year. It is a 53. How do you drop 35 points in less than 12 months? Besides saying, I'm here. I will be here. Why does it matter? Because someone lives there. Because it's not about you, it's about what we do to serve. I've said privately and I've said publicly, the Board of Commissioners has every right to have someone that sits in that chair who you have trust in, who you have faith in, who you believe in their vision. If that is not me, I respectfully understand and I will bid it adieu. Because I am not here for me. I'm here to serve a purpose. And when my time has passed, then the next person will pick up where I left off and do the necessary things to make this place successful. This isn't about me. This is about addressing the issues to make this place successful. And we have all the tools to do so. We just don't want to move it because it's going to make certain people feel uncomfortable. And uncomfortable has gotten, being comfortable is what has gotten us to where we are today. So that has to stop. I've encouraged people to stop using ChatGPT AI because it gives you this information. Bad landlords should be kicked off the HCB program. There's no fight from us. If you are a slum lower, which we have noticed a significant number of units have been failing significantly more than they failed before. Which we then start to ask the basic question of, you're right, landlord, the person hasn't lived here the last 3 to 5 years, and we have inspected them, we always pass. So if we're using the same standard and it's a different company, how did that company pass this year? But again, we don't want to talk about the systemic failure. We want to talk about, well, why aren't y'all doing this? Why aren't y'all doing that? Okay, we can address that. That's not a problem, right? NHA does not have police powers at our properties. We are within the jurisdiction of the city of Newark. Police come to us when we call 911. We call the fire department the fire department. We do not have jurisdiction for those matters. That's what you pay your taxes. If you are noticing consistent issues at a number of properties, again, we'll forward those things to the asset management team of NHA. Emergency transfers have definitely been addressed. I would encourage those individuals to reach out again to the regional manager or to the asset manager to find out what the status of their emergency transfers. Right. One of the notes. Have we applied to grants? There are no grants to address bad management. Let me say that again. There are no grants to address bad management. Sure. Furloughs. Furloughs are a horrible idea. And that goes to show how little people know about our business. Let me take 30 seconds to explain the furlough. I'm going to say, you stay home for 2 to 3 days, and I'm not going to pay you. And then that will close up our budget gap. The reality is, if you stay home and you are furloughed, you can collect unemployment, which just means that I'm not paying you, I'm paying an unemployment insurance, so it goes up. So money still comes out of my pocket. But the reality is, you're not there 2 to 3 days a week. The residents don't stop on the work order team. The rent still needs to be collected, the research still needs to be done. It just means the work piles up. Equally so, let's look at it from a human perspective. If you're going to call me out 2 days a week and not pay me for those 2 days a week, I'm going to use my sick time 3 days a week. Why? It doesn't incentivize people to do work. But we would have sat down and had some conversations. We could have let you know that doesn't make sense. But a lot of people feel they know our business, but they don't know our business. They want to manage the process, but they don't want to be a part of the process. Limited SAT. Yes, we do have limited SAT. Let's say it. And there are a number of properties that we did have. We say, you got 8 people on the payroll. If we ain't got 8 people, you got 8 people. Now, 3 of them may be on the FMLA. 2 of them are on workers' comp. So you got 3 people on a regular basis. Well, 3 people isn't enough. I don't disagree with you. But I can't go hire 5 more people. Again, I'm only collecting 71% of the rent on average. So if we were to address the systemic issue, which is workers' compensation, FMLA, different things that allow people to not show up for work, how we are able to then with evaluations, how we can incentivize people to come and do a better job, then maybe we get better results. But the last 10 years have not given us better results. We are about the same occupancy that we have had the last 10 years. So it hasn't worked. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. This time isn't a budget share problem. You can't reach back in that savings account and just keep your party going. You got to change your spending habits. Which is why we have not backfilled a significant number of roles in this building because they are not essential. As I have told staff directly, we have to make the most of the police. If that means people got to work a little bit later, I'm sorry, but you're salary. You got to come in on the weekend and some every weekend, but sorry, but you're salary. You got to stretch. But we have not stopped any people from higher rank silos. Matter of fact, we have a spot that is tried to fast track your process by having the manager interview their people. You don't assign the people. The HR boogeyman gets an assigning you people. You get to interview people. You decide if you want that person at your site to work. and we still have to pay. We can only do what you will allow us to do. We have TA offices. You have to go through any process, which is the HUD process, to take the unit offline. If you don't, the unit still counts against us. Ergo, they're expecting us to collect rent from that. We sat here 5 months ago and talked about the Phoenix Loop ad nauseum. The Board of Commissioners has 3 individuals that sit as the Board of Commissioners, the Board of Trustees for the Phoenix Group. The Phoenix Group was an instrumentality which the housing authorities can create, like the housing authorities created a number of instrumentalities to do business. The Phoenix Group has not done any business. And that business that we would try to do would have to be approved by the 3 commissioners that sit on this board. So why haven't you gone to the public and talked to them about it? Because ain't nothing to talk to the public about. We could create an instrumentality. The instrumentality has not done any work. It's the same thing that's been said in prior board meetings. It's the same thing you put in writing. It would have to come to a resolution. There's nothing there to come up. The end. No conspiracy theory too. It's a website. You can't hide what's on a website. Those are all Newark House and Parade properties. I would ask, he's 6'1". Some things we ask for and we can't do. We have to stay in our lane. We serve extremely low income. I have a significant issue with anyone that wants to discriminate against those that are extremely low income. That is the facts. So just because you perceive, an individual perceives that someone that is homelessness or experiencing homelessness is less valuable than them, I have a problem with that. That is a human soul that is sleeping on the streets, that now have a home over their head. They are paying rent. They are least compliant. They have case managers. They have a social worker that is assigned to them that they have to be in that program. AI Bobby can tell you that part. But again, as one of the previous commissioner mentioned, there's a difference between perception and reality. Sometimes you perceive something to be, therefore it must be. When in actuality, that's not the case. So if any of those individuals who are humans, who are Newark residents, who are unhoused, who go through the proper protocol to get housed, that pay their deposit, that meet with their social worker on a monthly basis as required, are still living there, then God bless them. Because the first need of any individual to be a successful participant in our society is a roof over your head. And that's what we are here to serve. It dumbfounds me how we can stand at this podium and say you evicted too many people. These are able-bodied people who have money, who have a job, who for whatever reason chose not to pay the rent. And at the same breath, we say, why even house no homeless people? People are people. They meet our criteria. We don't discriminate. We let them all. Because that's what the process is. We serve, first and foremost, the extremely low income. Period. Who Leonard Spicer decides to vote for, campaign for, where I go on my vacations outside of this building is my private business. It's also my constitutional right. And I, as an African American, as an ancestor of enslaved people, will exercise every God-given right that my grandparents and my great-grandparents died for. Period. My grandmother had a 9th grade education and got on a train from Aberdeen, Mississippi to come to the North for a greater life. And I am the legacy of every one of them and the greatest dream they ever had. So if I want to exercise my God-given rights, if I want to exercise my right to vote, if I want to exercise any right that is lawful, I will. And I make sure it's not done on company time and it's done off premises because that is my right. And I will never answer for that. What I have holistically heard this evening is that we are not doing a good job. And like any other month, any other time, I have no problem taking that on the chin. And where we can improve, we improve. Some things take longer than others. A year ago, we had another company that was doing our inspection. And people were not happy about that. They were passing units that had no business being passed. Colburn, unfortunately, said, how could you let somebody in? And now we're not having those people come up and say that. Now we're hearing people say the inspections are happening too slow. I see that as progress. Because sometimes you have to slow the process down to make sure the process is sometimes you have to be methodical to make sure it's happening the way it's supposed to happen. Can it get better? Yes. Have I told HCD to hire more inspectors? Yes. Will I be having a conversation with them this month to find out if they hire more inspectors? Yes. Because that is key performance indicators. That is what you do when you have a contractor who specializes in the work. You allow them to do the job and hold them accountable. Same thing you would do with fiber copy management firm, like the 4 firms that are 12 other assets. Hold them accountable, give them the money, give them the autonomy, let them do the job, and make sure they use it. If they don't, you move on and find somebody else. But if doing the same thing over and over again and not getting the results isn't helping anyone. You all do this for free. You all do this out of love for the people around you. The person's elections, the ones you know, the ones you don't. So to come here and have people beat up on you, to yell and scream at you when you were doing your best, when you were trying to correct the ship that got off the beaten path a long time ago, isn't fair to you, isn't fair to us. I say to staff all the time that it's my responsibility to come up here and have a sword and a shield, to defend you and to fight for you. If that means you're doing wrong, I'm going to tell you you're doing wrong. If that means you're doing good, I'm going to celebrate your goodness, just like here, just like the performance bonuses. Just like the email I sent out today said, hey, this is supposed to be an easy process. Only 60% of them are correct. But we're going to go ahead and pay the people that got it incorrect. We're going to work with you if you haven't gotten it correct. And if some law will continue to work with you, we have to take disciplinary action. Because we can't walk you through it. Everybody wants your shit. We gave you an opportunity to learn how to do it, and you ain't get it. That's for 2 months. People need their money. It goes both ways. And oftentimes that count isn't money. It goes both ways. Can we do better? Yes. Are we attempting to do better? Yes. Are we trailing, or I should say, are we creating a path that hasn't been done before? Yes. Have other housing authorities across the country done this and been successful? Yes. Chicago Housing Authority did this 20 years ago. Atlanta Housing Authority did this 15 years ago. Charlotte Housing Authority did this 12 years ago. El Paso Housing Authority did this 8 years ago. I can go across the country. So I'm a subject matter expert that's been in this 25 years. So I can tell you every housing authority in the country go through that have been successful with this model. Columbus, Ohio, is about our size, had a net profit last year of $41 million. They made a profit of $41 million. We got a conversation, a prior commissioner told us, well, the housing authority always runs a deficit. That's small. I think it is irresponsible to ever allow a public entity to run in the ring. You wouldn't allow your business to run in the ring. What happens if nothing over happens? Where do we get the money from? I am thankful for the partnership with the city. Either they have helped us out. We find ways to work together. We find ways to advance the goals of the citizens of Newark. You're our residents, our residents. Their citizens are our residents. So we have to work together. No one is an island. If you are all alone. And we will not be alone. We will not survive if we are alone. I will speak. There's no boat.
So there a book from ETP that there are wrongful sentencing of Section 8 revenue. They did not get the information in I, and they are convicted. There are complaints about online decertification that somehow the litigation get lower and the people lose their voucher. Now, and mentors do not want a NHA voucher. What they expect to take me wrong. I know people in the North about it before the inspection. Remember, the property, they need that apartment taken. So someone else comes along, then won't the voucher is out on it's taking too long. And you say that now
they slowed down because, of more quality. But DCA takes from 7 to 10 days to do a inspection. So you can see if looking resident clients because the landlord do not want anything about that I know. Now, okay, something else. We need to do the question one. Quick people are leaving their house. Now, I have been calling Section 8 because there's a complaint about Section 8 not acting vote. But I can find that. But I will be calling each day, 50 down a day. And so far, I called yesterday 9.6, 9.5. I called that at 9 for the morning. I called that at 11:24. I called today at 12 o'clock. I called that at 3:38. I will continue to call. They give answer. I will continue to call every day. I'll call much day. Keep down today. Because I'll see. So perhaps they are not answering because it just takes the door. But I will put that on my schedule. I'll have a book. Okay, with the law. Okay, now. So that's what else about that snake. Why are people getting 2 and 3 recertification severe? Why? It's supposed to work with it. Okay, so I know people that keep doing it, keep doing it. I don't get why. Okay, can I answer that one for you? Yeah. So we're going there, we're no more going over that question came up. As I try to explain to people, there's things are just happening in real time. Right? So you should be getting your recertification packet 120 days before you're certified for your recertification. So every 30 days, what's happening in real time, they're mailing you out a cert. You say, hey, we got it now. Here it is. Maybe you lost it. Here it is. So in the in-between time, if we send you a packet on the 1st and you fill it out, and you'll be around to fill it out to the 22nd, you drop it in the mail on the 23rd. If we haven't got it by the 1st of the following month, wherever it's in your packet, it says, hey, we getting it recertified. Now you may have already sent it in, and because it's snail mail, it may not get to us a week or two later. But in that time period, we've already sent it out to you. So if it's just a disconnect between when you drop it in the mail and when it receives, just stop sending out your certificate. But once we have received yours, we process it and not see you. Okay. Something else. I have a client here, who I have a name here, her address, and she moved in with a voucher on June 5, and MHA had not paid her rent, their part. So I need to get you to someone, make a follow up and see what happened. Okay. Okay, that's great. Now I couldn't find your E245 both from you. I think you gave it here. 1.725. I'll check on it. I'll check on it. Okay, I'm going to go. So what I make sure we do. Yeah, because I keep up. Okay, we can go with, but I put it back on the five. But I believe I did add that. You don't know it's forever. And knowing what you do, what and you actually do have a copy. So I need to see who it came back.
Okay, thank you. I yield. Shit. Me. If people buy update by Monday on the repairs, she'll know that. I think actually Mr. Washington have the documentation that we have, but we can make a top on that one. Okay, okay, question. Good. I do buy 54 and 45 in at, at least in my view. So though I'm thinking that after at the workshop, I was told that the work because Commissioner Carter witnessed me, he took you to work for 45. So from the paperwork that he gave us today.
They paid on the paperwork. I'm wondering if let's check.
Yeah, at the end of it, man, the young lady down at Sassy you know, usually being ever pop slow. Well, I hear all of that other stuff we do as well. By Monday, we'll get an update on the abatement issue. Thanks.
That's good. You got anything else to this? Well, we know what you have in the book.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We go to move on you.
To the business cycle for this evening, the July 2025 board report was prior to the board. Are any questions concerned regarding that board report?
Yeah, it's Jerry. I'm still trying to get some hunting about some of the stuff that were offline. We're going to get online, specifically President Abu and I believe chapter Wins area got offline. Bourbons had some offline. Homes had an offline. Where are they going to come back to eight?
So just, as always, I want to make sure I understand exactly the right. You want the information for these three properties or for both of them a lot?
So, one, the issue on Pennsylvania Avenue was probably up, went offline. They shut the one offline. When are we going to get that back online? Then the other ones were based on, I believe, the number of apartment that we had contracted. That was a both tall. Well, are we go? Okay. What we can do. Right, I move to the accepted work.
Commissioner Carter? Yeah. Wait, once you got them second, with the vote, bubble for the July 2025 board report.
And that they launched in July 2025 for training. That's right to it set. Sorry. And second, welcome, Commissioner Carter. Yes. Commissioner Council. Yes. Commissioner Buffy. Yes. Commissioner Hop.
Sharon, yeah. Moving to resolution this week. 26. Capital redevelopment and preparation trucks H25250901. The resolution of the Newark House of Board of Commissioners authorized the executive director to execute on behalf of the authority and it is capacity as sole member of the authority's special purpose as may be required by all document message and future property transfers to increment phase 2 of the west side of the department, ratifies Harvest All Fire Act.
Open for the non-working private program other her back involved.
Parts of the Zerman literary. What was you doing? Is that? Will fall. I mean, her.
Yes.
What? How? Chairman vote yes. I'll just stay up there. Right. Okay. H2525, that drill line, that bill 2, that Newark Public Airport. To implement the tenant selection plan, the RAR and final property, publish the final version, provide notices to applicants and residents, right, the applicant not subject to repetitive interfering and finds a cut guideline and align with
So, had a thoughts plan, battery, plan the painted to turn house left my and to ensure that we find the updates that you have. And so the plan was open the first property from July. On this Star Ledger move now, but we also have a copy of selection available for the printer. You can take it move it
Website. We also
to
special email address and phone number.
for the phone. He also probably
Which
beyond terrible about me. We facing the yeah, back population, and so residents were very senior. We told that we lived in a school. So obviously, then they ride and I drive. It didn't mean then over me well back off. Children of where to be, gorgy. And obviously, that's not what's a way to talk, even turn the outreach and know that and let it not happen. And use it to all we pretty much one question submitted directly to the or so this allows people wikis to the
it should be get our brand properly. Any question? Or not? Resolution. The second will go for Carter. Council. Walkie.
yes.
Information and Technology, H25250903, Leslie Board Commissioners of Newark House Employee hereby approve a contract with Millennium Communication Inc. Incorporated for the upgrade of the authority's existing Cisco Unified Communication Voice over Ethernet protocol systems with cloud-based solution. The total contract amount shall not exceed $434,000 will be $60 and shall include all hardware and configuration like 5% subscription for OK. Is a ride.
When are we gonna be through all of these communication systems up there? But like we've done, this been going on for the last 6 months. I believe I'm not mistaken. You have phone problems, bro. And the phones was down for a long time. And now we were voting on system, and we still voting on system. So when are we gonna be over with this? Is this it or is there more to come?
That problem was taken care of. That issue was no fault of the housing authority.
So what's this one?
This is an upgrade of current. Our system has reached
Our system has reached the end of life.
yeah.
Then we'll just get a new system?
No, you got a new service provider, the whole sub provider that the area. They going to support the area.
So we're still spending money.
So it's to upgrade what we currently have, what we currently right. So what happening now, the systems that we had before divided at people left the areas without notification, didn't read it. Yeah. Question to that was, did they have old responsibility to inform us that they were leaving the area contraction? Yes, and but they did not. So, and do we have any recourse?
Recourse to those spending the money.
Two separate. But Korea's here recourse.
I submitted everything to me appropriate.
We get an update on what the recourse is, allow a non-verification, especially business contractual, and it cause systems to go out for over 2 weeks. And somebody should be held accountable.
So there's some clarity about that. Our equipment even going down.
No, this G, I know you're gonna talk about our talk about the contract that we have a provider who decided to leave the network area without notification, hence shutting ours implement. Now, what you're saying here is that the wiring and things that we have in place, the system that we have in place, needs to be upgraded. Correct, right? It's not upgrade. That's the thing. See, what the chair was talking about was frustration over all of the IT issues with these systems. It's told them that this stuff can be left. So once we get the upgrade of this system,
You coming off big time, man. You coming off.
hopefully that we spoke that we hadn't get a provider, right? So hopefully the whole provider that
Yeah. So I'm a bridge guy. I'll do a sure statement about coming off big time. I just wanted you to be clarity on what tracks service that we get and the difference and what the and the equipment that we have. Equipment that we have did not fail. Service provider that they run.
but you're saying equipment that we had is constantly up.
It's constantly.
So the equipment that we have, it didn't include none of this good stuff.
It's the low grade. We do have, but the difference is we're going to be cloud based now. What extra good. So if something does happen, we're not relying on physical lines and stems.
The money we spent for the other one, all that should have came with.
Our cloud was all of that. This serve our equipment over. And
All right, so now we up to date fully, and we should. We're like no more problem.
I mean,
Concerned with over spending another 500,000.
nothing's ever 100%, but if this is a way more efficiency.
Come on, man. All right, now you big league. All right, let's just keep moving on. Let's put the vote out. You big league in it, man. Thank you.
A motion, come on. Huh?
Is it second?
Second.
Commissioner Carter? Mr. Council left. Mr. Moss?
Yes.
Mr. Mount?
That thing.
Capital Redevelopment and Preservation Trust. Thank you all. The New York House Authority Board of Commissioners authorized protected record execute on map in the 3 conveyance stock near Front Street, blank day, initial land at 8-12 Central Place, Lot 1, Lot 24, and the 20 to be 32 Central Place, Lot 130, Lot 29, AC, Newark, unpaid, the Newark River public access and needed out of plan for construction maintenance of the riverfront park. Ratifies and affirms all fire accident, but
The essential to complete the process of about so lots are very small lots. They are not movable but to develop for. So hard to get. Take one lot of or to not it big 2,000 per integrated. So it's a lot of a lot to be for a great appeal.
we can't period be in those blocks. So there's an anomaly so they can put with it more. That is Commissioner Carter.
Yes.
Out. Mr. Washington.
Yes.
Commissioner Hop. Chairman Rhodes.
Yes.
Moving right along, modernization, AET 525, that bill number 5, that the Board of Commissioners, the New York Development Board hereby approve an execution of consent agreements with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency addressing violations of federal directives, state regulations, and multiple very owned properties constructed prior to 1978. The board further authorizing the executive director to implement all the fire fines measures to be patent and execution, reporting, execution, training, and giving us the film accordance with terms brief the little federal state agency record. But I think I went over this in a meeting.
As you can tell, a lawyer wrote this. What they're really saying is we have property that were built before 1978 that have a lead based in over there. Second,
Yes.
Commissioner Carter,
Yes.
Mr. Compton,
Yeah.
Mr. Wampy, Mr. Hawk. Terrible, yes. And last this evening, development, it was too large, gas. Probably we could move, and it goes. Earlier was one of the former
Commissioner Muhammad. You talk about the modernization, you talk about the elevators. So we can get an update. I mean, there was some up there, nothing probably. People thankful to be on the record that they were doing modernization, no work as it remains to the elevator modernization.
yes, that will make sure so then comments and comments to that.
There's another thing than bragging for the last 3 years. Oh, eat that money. Big money. Where you go?
So just for clarity purposes, I think sometimes there's a disconnect between what we say we're going to give them and what people expect. So as I kind of mentioned before, we are modernizing the cab, which is what you want. We're not taking out the shaft. We're not aligning the exit sensor. We're let the systems exact. So I know we have some residents that say the elevator don't have a fan. They don't have AC. They were a number of our buildings were built in 40s and 50s. They didn't have those that way. So it's not possible. Well, it's not possible financially to put those in a cab now. They have to look up code shaft and style and you don't have TEs off because we're putting a cab to make it efficient, effective, and safe. If it's not me, you're gonna have air conditions, all things that do that. But we'll get an update for you on the elevator. We're into H2525096 at the Newark House Library where Commissioner Fabla detected for to execute contract, make any necessary revisions with Michael J. Malby for Malby repair at Old C. White Manor in substantial
Compliance with the terms and conditions specified in the RFP number 25-8,
where I'm not to exceed $445. It's the late starter. We finished the procurement. He want to wait till the end of October so we are at a point where we can move forward now. What we're saying is that some people are aware there are sewer break outlets specifically in Hazy White that have some water intrusion. And that water intrusion has caused the contract at 12 overtime. So we have both got these parts also residents not get onto the belt. This resolution will allow us to actually do the work. You construct those balconies or fix those balconies so people can use their balcony at the moment of fun. I'm got me two. It's about was $445 about not cheap.
well, it's parts were yeah, so I just replacing, it told about me, it found strengthening the island music, taking the entire body out and he puts it about. So he's like that's kind of fit me that fun thing, not something where it was just partial
Fixing it out, but no, in this case they're gonna knock it, they're gonna chip away at it to then reboot. You can't just knock it down and chip away at it.
I'm a video responder. Yeah, George Wall.
The fund is it that you will contribute the year the fund with more than all the said that
Move it.
Sad. Commissioner Harper?
Yeah.
Commissioner Gumbs?
Yeah.
Martin? Top. Here.
Yeah.
Eats all our record business. 663.
With 53. The ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.